Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I have always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. Earlier this week, former President Uhuru Kenyatta ordered Fred Matiang'i and Rafael Tuju to take charge of funeral arrangements for the late George Magoha. And because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, that move by the former president was actually intended to achieve specific political objectives, which I explained in one of my earlier videos, which I'm going to share the link below. And Kenyans were really waiting for the action from William Samoei Arap Ruto, because by that time, William Ruto was actually in Senegal. And today, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, reacted on behalf of William Samoei Arap Ruto. And I paid very close attention to Rigathi Gachagua's speech when he visited the family of the late Professor George Magoha. Technically, the government has taken over that funeral, which begs the question, what remains of Fred Matiang'i? What remains of Fred Matiang'i? What remains of Rafael Tuju's committee? Because remember, Rafael Tuju is even a member of Magoha's extended family. So in this video, I want us to look at what William Ruto is offering the family and what he wants to achieve by that. Because George Magoha is actually not the first cabinet secretary to pass on in this country. And the way William Ruto is coming forcefully means he wants to achieve certain objectives. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us get back to the main issue. Rigathi Gachagua, Eliud Owalo, and senior government officials today went to George Magoha's family home and they condoled with them. And he made these 5 major announcements. The first announcement he made was that the government will airlift the body of George Magoha from Nairobi to Game on Friday. So which means transport now catered for. Majority of the Luo nation would have wanted a situation where the body is actually airlifted from Nairobi, then it lands in Kisumu airport, then it proceeds by road. I don't know why they don't want that to happen. The other thing he announced is that the government will provide tents and chairs. If you've attended funerals of late, very expensive tents, so the government will offer that. The third announcement he talked about is that the government will provide financial support to the family, especially in terms of feeding. You know, in our culture of the Luos, we celebrate death. And that's why traditionally when someone passes on, you'd find someone coming with a cow, someone coming with a ram, someone coming with a goat, someone coming with a kitchen, someone coming with a bale of maize, and the rest. So William Ruto is saying they are going to feed people at that funeral. So which means the family should, there's no any other issue remaining there. The fourth thing he announced, which shocked everybody, is that the government will actually provide relief food to Game residents, so as to make them, according to Rigathi Gachagua, which I find to be a bit funny, to make them comfortable during the funeral. Remember, Game constituency in Nyanza is one of the most productive areas, so they really don't need food relief, but they are planning to do that beginning tomorrow. Then they are also saying that they are open to any additional support should the family require. And lastly, they have appointed a team of 3 people who will be the link between the government and the family. That team includes Eli Duwalo, who is the cabinet secretary, Raymond Omolo, who is the principal secretary for Interior, and Magoha, who is the chief of staff at Rigathi Gachagua's office. So I want us to look at the objective. But before we do that, please, I want you guys to listen very closely to Rigathi Gachagua. Then we dive into the objectives.
Again, the family did request that the government helps to airlift the body, and we have agreed. And the Kenya Defense Forces will provide a military helicopter to take the body home together with members of the family on the Friday preceding the Saturday burial. Again, the family requested that we do help in providing the tentage and chairs and all that goes with it to cater for thousands of mourners on that particular day. And that request has been acceded, and the CS Interior has been properly guided. Again, the family requested that we give some financial support, which we have committed to support the family effort in terms of funeral preparations and feeding the thousands of mourners who are expected. Over and above, our Department of Special Program will also provide food for the family and the mourners. And in addition, we have also instructed that we provide food, relief food, to all the residents of Gem, so that as we proceed to prepare for the burial, all the homes surrounding the funeral home, the home that is bereaved, they are also comfortable because there is food. And we have also agreed that if there is any other issue, we'll be available to help. We have dedicated 3 senior government officials to work with the family. That is CS Owalo, PS Raymond Omolo, Daktari, and the Chief of Staff in my office, George McCoy. And we have done that deliberately because they are also your sons, so that you can also be able mkoroge maneno yenu kinyumbani, because some of the things you so that you are comfortable because they understand you and your rituals and traditions. Some of us may be a bit lost, so we have given you those 3 sons, and we will look for a daughter to add so that we do gender balance. We will look for a daughter and they'll tell us which one. So you are okay, and with those 3 people, there should be no problem. If there is anything else the president needs to do, the government needs to do, we are ready, we are available. So once more, we want to say elections are over. This is the time to work, and President and I do not care where you voted. Nobody should be left behind. We will develop this country for everybody. That is why we spent 3 days in Homa Bay and Siaya and Kisumu, and we are planning to come to Migori. Hata mkisema hamutabui sisi tutakuja tu, because we have to come. Lazima tukuje. We'll still come. You know, because now kwa ukisema utabui sisi lazima tuendelee na kazi, si ndio?
Now let's face it. Politics is definitely going to form or become a center stage. When Uhuru Kenyatta named that committee of former cabinet secretaries, it was clear as day and night that Uhuru was trying to take charge of the program. Or let me put it this way. Probably Uhuru Kenyatta realized that the government was not intending to do any other thing. So the only thing he could do was to use reverse psychology so as to make the government to react the way they have done. But what is the objective of this offer? Number one, in my view, I think William Ruto is keen on turning this event into a presidential event. So the funeral of the late Magoha is going to be a presidential event. What that means is that this government is going to take charge. The military, and that's why Gachagua was very clear that the KDF will take charge. Why do you think he mentioned the KDF? Or you just think he just mentioned it? It was, the word KDF was meant to send some signals. So basically they want to make it a presidential event, and in any presidential event, there's a way programs are organized. So that if, for example, this case had intended to have some few individuals to speak and maybe pass some to pass some coded messages during this funeral, it will not happen. The program will be such that the family will speak, maybe the area member of parliament or MCA, the governor, maybe a cabinet secretary or something like that, moving like that, Raila Odinga, Rigathi Gachagua, Uhuru Kenyatta, then Ruto. Because I think where Uhuru is, the guy who is supposed to speak before Ruto would be Uhuru. Then he gives back microphone to Rigathi. I'll be keen on seeing how the two gentlemen, Rigathi and Uhuru, will share that platform. So I think they are keen on turning it into a presidential event. And by turning it into a presidential event, it means the government will take charge. Number two, I'm looking at this food distribution. Why do you think they are planning to distribute food relief to game residents? For me, I think it's about acceptability, to soften the ground. Because an empty stomach, what I don't know is that Ruto and Rigathi are yet to understand the politics of the Luos. And let me pass this information to them if they didn't know. Eliud Owalo, who is my friend, and a group of some Luo rejects have been distributing food in Luo Nyanza. Those food distribution, they never had any positive impact. I attend bunges, and the kind of things people say about those food, you will laugh and cry. Someone was saying that, mi nilienda nikachukua hiyo mahindi na maragwe, nikamua nitengeneze nyoyo. I spend almost a whole sack of makaa. So basically, the people are saying that they are spoiled. And even this food distribution here, people have started questioning, why do they want to give people food? Are they planning to do something? But I think the whole idea is acceptability, so that the ground can accept them. Because, game is right at the center of Luo politics. Where Magoha comes from is close to where Ida Odinga comes from. Ida is kind of, it's borders the Luos around that area. Number three, I think Uhuru is also sending a coded message. Number three, I also tend to think that Ruto is sending a coded message to Uhuru Kenyatta that who is in charge? I'm in charge. You can't form a committee of former cabinet secretaries while we have a sitting president with a sitting cabinet secretaries. That's not acceptable. So it's basically telling him that I'm in charge and I'm going to show you that I'm in charge. And lastly, I also tend to think that Kenya Kwanza have realized that this issue of Magoha was going to bring a lot of issues. For example, the issue of Machogu and his performance, versus if you compare to that of the former cabinet secretary, Professor Magoha, the performances are different. So people had started drawing parallel between Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet, and that's why Uhuru was telling him, my entire cabinet is going to be here. People are comparing his former cabinet and the one for Ruto now, and people are going to see the difference. And that's what Ruto doesn't want. So he's trying to hide by coming out to take charge of everything. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you, guys. Let's wait and see how far this fight is going to go. Bye-bye.